It's important for you to use language that's suitable for the task or the assignment that you've been given. Okay, so there's a time for conversational spoken language, and there's a time for more formal written language. Now, with an academic essay in university or college, you should be using formal writing. Okay, so I want to give you some tips on how to make your writing more formal and more academic. First of all, you shouldn't be using contractions, words like can't and won't. Give the full form cannot, will not. Also, you shouldn't be using slang or informal expressions like stuff or adjectives like awesome. It's not formal enough. Also, you should avoid the use of the first person, meaning I, me, and my. Now, students sometimes think, how can I express my opinion if I can't say I think or in my opinion? But look at this example. I think cell phones should be banned in classrooms. If I simply remove I think, then you can see that cell phones should be banned in classrooms is my opinion because I've written it in my essay. Also, you want the reader to be focusing less on you and more on your ideas and your opinions. So removing yourself is a good way of achieving that idea of objectivity. Okay? Also, with me and my, you should avoid using personal examples, experiences from your life or things that happen to friends. Don't really have a place in academic writing. Also, you should try to avoid, in my opinion, you should avoid speaking or addressing the reader directly, meaning using the word you too much. In this example, if you want to succeed, you should follow this process. For me, it sounds too casual and too familiar. Using a pronoun like one is a little bit more general and I think sounds a little bit more formal. So this is how I changed it. Following this process will increase one's chances for success. Same meaning, just a little bit more formal. Okay, also, try to avoid using overly emotional language. If the reader thinks you're being emotional, they may think you're being irrational, in which case they may not see your arguments as valid and start questioning your opinions. You also want to avoid overgeneralizations, meaning words like every, none, or all. If you look at this example, everybody knows that smartphones are useful. Now that's not entirely true. Even if there's one person on a mountain or in Antarctica somewhere that doesn't know about smartphones, that means that sentence is inaccurate, so avoid it. And the last of the list of things that you cannot do is use statistics without proper reference. Don't just put a percentage into your essay unless you can tell exactly where it came from. All right, now a couple things that you should do to make your writing more formal is using the passive voice. The passive voice in the impersonal passive, again, creates that objectivity. It removes you from your ideas, and it's quite successful. If you look at this example, it is believed by some that widespread use of technology in daily life is affecting the way people interact with one another. It is believed is a really useful way of reporting other people's ideas in a passive, formal way. If you want more practice with that, you can check out the video on the impersonal passive and passive voice. And last, try to use more academic vocabulary. Instead of a word like bad, you can use a word like harmful or detrimental. Help can be replaced by facilitate or foster. Things to think about. So when you're writing your essay, make sure when you're proofreading that the language you're using is suitable for the tasks that you've been given. All right? So for more practice with making your language more formal, follow the link at the end of this video.